It's a little foggy, as you can see there.
Yeah, Pacific fog is rolling in.
We've got some very bright lights as Dragon, you can see the ocean there. Dragon is about to touch down in just a few seconds here.
And working their way towards the vehicle are the SpaceX and Axiom support teams that will be present for the next phase of our splashdown coverage today. At this point, we'll be waiting for confirmation of the crew's safe landing, and then we'll move into the phases of this mission, which are really, let's recover the vehicle, let's recover the crew, let's make our assessments, and at that point, we'll be covering.
And we have splashdown of the AX4 crew back on planet Earth.
Welcome home.
SpaceX Dragon splashdown. We are in Stable 1.
SpaceX copies Splashdown and Stable 1. On behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
And thanks for the great ride and the safe trip, and Grace is happy to be back.
We are happy to have you back home safely as well.
Some words between the core and our commander, Peggy Whitson, as the AX4 crew has made it back home. Splashdown at
Dragon. SpaceX, for your awareness, SISTI system verifications are in progress. I will report back when recovery personnel are en route.
Dragon.
Yeah, so now you can see a couple fast boats are going to be approaching the Dragon spacecraft. They're going to start with making sure that the spacecraft is safe. They're going to do some sniff checks. They're going to pick up those main parachutes. As Dragon splashed down, the chutes were immediately cut to make sure there's no safety issues there. So we'll pick up those main parachutes up. And once the crew deems that the spacecraft is safe, then our recovery vessel Shannon can begin to approach and begin the recovery process. So we are now eagerly waiting on recovery of our Dragon spacecraft with the AX4 crew. Dragon has already autonomously completed several steps to save itself following splashdown.
So for those of you just joining us, the return of AX4 has gone smoothly so far, and we just got great confirmation that crew has splashed down. So Dragon successfully re-entered the Earth's atmosphere, followed by deployment of its parachutes to slow the spacecraft down to a gentle 15 miles per hour. And at that point, they successfully splashed down in the Pacific Ocean at 2:31 a.m. Pacific time, off the coast of Southern California. So at this point, like you mentioned, Jesse, we are just waiting for Dragon's recovery from Shannon.
Yeah, upon detection of landing, Dragon automatically releases the main parachutes to prevent wind from pulling the spacecraft. Dragon then automatically saves any pyrotechnics still present on the vehicle and may automatically perform additional minor system reconfigurations. The astronauts remain seated and in their suits at this point, but the onboard air conditioning keeps temperatures in check inside the spacecraft, and the communication systems on board remain powered so the crew can continue to communicate.
And as we're watching, SpaceX has 2 fast boats in their recovery fleet, which move very quickly to get to the splashdown point. And those are being followed by Shannon, the main recovery vessel, which will move into position upwind of the spacecraft. The 2 fast boats have very specific roles here in these operations.
शुभांशु के परिवार वाले संगमक में मौजूद हैं, फिलहाल अभी बोलने को तैयार.
In the world of space, it's a moment of pride for the whole world and a moment of glory for India as one of her illustrious sons returns back after accomplishing a successful voyage and after having conducted some of the very vital life-bearing experiments never done before. And therefore, as I said, today indeed Bharat has found an enduring space in the world of space. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And as you all know, the chronology of it that would follow, all of them would be in the quarantine for over next 1 week, maybe up to 23rd. And from 24th onwards, they would be having team discussions with the experts from.
बहुत आ रहे हैं, बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छा लगा है। हाँ, हमारी बेटी भी वहीं ह्यूस्टन में है, गई है। हाँ हाँ, बहुत हम मना रहे हैं कि भगवान खुश रहें, मस्त रहें और खूब आगे बढ़े।
Representatives of NASA separately, that's called debriefing. And after that is accomplished, which would go on for about maybe nearly 2 weeks, till about 12th or 13th of April. Then they'll start preparations for returning home in case of Shubhanshu to return back to India. So that could be around 14th or 15th. The preparations will begin. And as of now, we speculate that he should be with us over here on the 17th of August.
17th.
जैसा मैंने कहा कि विश्व के लिए ये गर्व का पल तो है ही है, भारत के लिए एक अद्भुत आनंद का पल कि भारत मां का एक सुपुत्र आज कामयाबी से लौटा है, एक ऐसे प्रयोग से, एक ऐसी यात्रा से जिसमें बहुत सारे ऐसे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स किए गए जो पहले कभी ना किए गए थे, लेकिन जिनका समस्त मानव जाति के लिए महत्व रहेगा। और जैसे मोदी जी हमें हमेशा सिखाते हैं वसुदेव कुटुंबकम, और साथ ही साथ हमें याद करवाते हैं कि भारत को विश्व बंधु बन करके अपनी भूमिका निभानी है। आज वास्तव में विश्व बंधु के रूप में शुभांशु ने हमारी तर्जुमानी करते हुए वो काम वहाँ अंजाम दिया है, और ये कह सकते हैं कि अंतरिक्ष में एक स्थायी स्थान भारत को आज स्थापित करने का अवसर भी रहा, सफलता भी रही। And as I said, in the true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and also in the true spirit of discharging the role of Vishwa Bandhu as envisaged by Prime Minister Modi, a son of Mother India has accomplished for the entire mankind some of such experiments which were never conducted before, but which would have a bearing, which would have relevance for the mankind across the world, across the planet Earth. Thank you. और इसमें हाँ, वापसी का भी चलिए हिंदी में बता देते हैं कि अभी रात को 11:30 बजे के लगभग वहाँ से उनकी रवानगी होगी, ह्यूस्टन पहुँचना होगा 8:30 8:30 और 9 के बीच में, जो हिंदुस्तानी टाइम है, भारत इंडियन स्टैंडर्ड टाइम, 8:30 और 9 के लगभग उनकी रवानगी होगी वहाँ से। अभी वो लैंड हुए हैं ऑफ द कैलिफोर्निया कोस्ट सैन डिएगो में। 8:30 9 बजे के वहाँ से रवाना होने के बाद उसके पश्चात लगभग 2.5-3 घंटे का रास्ता है, 11:30 बजे तक लगभग ह्यूस्टन पहुँचेंगे। अगले 5-6 दिन रिहेबिलिटेशन की एक्सरसाइज चलेगी, क्योंकि उन्हें they'll have to get used to the Earth's atmosphere and the Earth's milieu। लगभग 23 तारीख तक ये क्रम मुकम्मल होगा, और तत्पश्चात लगभग 1 सप्ताह उनकी डिस्कशंस, टीम डिस्कशन चलेंगी इसरो के जो हमारे प्रतिनिधि हैं उनके साथ, और तत्पश्चात फिर लगभग 15 दिन से अप टू ऑलमोस्ट 13th और 14th ऑफ अगस्त उनकी डीब्रीफिंग के सेशंस रहेंगे। अलग अलग जो इसमें स्टेक होल्डर्स थे, जो पार्टनर्स थे, एक्सियम की टीम के साथ, नासा की टीम के साथ, स्पेसएक्स की टीम के साथ, और फिर 14-15 के लगभग अगस्त उनकी वापसी की तैयारी होगी। और जैसा कि अभी योजना बनाई गई है उसके मुताबिक हम ये उम्मीद कर सकते हैं कि 17 अगस्त के लगभग शुभांशु दिल्ली
दिया और मिशन पूरा हुआ, उसके लिए सबको हम आभार प्रकट करते हैं और ईश्वर को धन्यवाद।
आपकी आखिरी बात कल हुई थी, क्या कुछ उस समय बात हुई थी? अब तो पूरा मिशन कंप्लीट हो गया, क्या कहना? धन्यवाद, आप सबको धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद और साथ में आप लोगों का भी धन्यवाद जो आप लोगों ने इतना जो है इतना सबको दिखाया, पूरी मेहनत की, दिल दुनिया को दिखाया कि कैसे गया और कैसे आया बेटा, मतलब पूरा आप लोगों ने दिखाया। इसके लिए आप सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
आंटी थोड़ा इमोशनल भी हो गई थी आप उस वक्त जब लैंडिंग
बेटा इतने दिन बाद लौटा है तो थोड़ा सा भावुक होना बनता है,
लेकिन खुशी से भाई
बहुत ज्यादा।
कल बात हुई थी, क्या कुछ बात हुई थी, क्या कह रहे थे आखिरी समय में?
कल नहीं बात हुई है, परसों बात हुई थी।
खुशी के धन्यवाद है, आपको धन्यवाद है, सबको धन्यवाद है,
सबको धन्यवाद है, बहुत खुश है,
पूरा परिवार के साथ
बहुत बड़ा मिशन करके आया।
करो आप करो ना, आप जाओ इधर इधर।
We still have something to watch. आप सब लोगों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। And we are so happy. We have next step right now. Please watch that immediately. It's important one. Very important. He is coming out.
All right, I'm going to cut across to my colleague Nikita, who's joining us from this particular school where the family had congregated to watch Shubhanshu Shukla's Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla's return back on Earth with the SpaceX crew. Nikita, obviously a lot of excitement behind you. Try and speak to the family and understand, though we heard from the parents of Mr. Shukla how they feel about this. He's just created history, textbook history is what we are talking about. Just try and speak to the family and the people around you and try and figure out what excited them the most about this entire trip. All right, there seems to be an audio trouble. We'll get back to Nikita momentarily. Dr. Naresh Chawla, former National Joint Secretary of IMA, with us on the program. Mr. Tarun Sharma, astronomer, also joins us on the broadcast to talk more about this. Dr. Raju Garunacharya, former ISRO scientist, also with us on the program. Mr. Rajiv Gambhir, Deputy Director of General SI India, is also with us. And last but not the least, Mr. Milind Raj, scientist, is also with us on the program. Dr. Chawla, I'll begin with you, sir. Well, Dr. Jitendra Singh said that, of course, he's landed, he's back on Earth, he splashed down, but this is perhaps the beginning of another arduous journey for him because he'll have to physically get acclimatized, he'll have to be mentally and physically debriefed. What did you understand from that, sir?
You see, it is a fact that first thing, we are all basking in the glory, we all should. But I have already said in your channel only, this should be the beginning. India has to have its own manned flight to moon soon, earlier the better. Coming to the health part, no doubt this gentleman, Wing Commander Shubhanshu Shukla, he was very strenuously trained for all this. He's coming back. Don't forget, only couple of months back, we had Sunita Williams coming back after a long journey, I think 8 to 10 months or more. So this was only 18 days. So it will be quite easy when he comes back. Apart from, obviously, the effect of gravity will come back. Acclimatization will be a little difficult. The breathing exercises, I think everything is nicely being planned by the Space Agency in US also, and we'll also have our part to do it. It should not be he being a young army officer, Air Force officer. It should be very easy for him. So, but still, lesser said than said being seen. It should be a little difficult. But I believe when Rakesh Sharma went to space so many decades back, we could not follow it up. But we should have a proper planned space program. Only then we can say we have achieved a lot. As far as the group, Shubhanshu Shukla's health is concerned, I am sure he, being a younger officer, will find it very easy to acclimatize easily. The diet part, the weightlessness part, the breathing part should be done in a very scheduled manner, and I think it should not be very difficult at all.
Should not be very difficult. Mr. Gambhir, this is obviously, needless to say, and like Dr. Chawla also put it, that we are basking in the glory of this achievement. But what happens now? How is this achievement and this trip going to be leveraged by ISRO, by the private space program that the government is so excited about, and the overall overwhelming support and resonance that trip has created within the country?
Thank you so much for having me with you here. And you're right, it's not just basking in the glory. There is so much that is accomplished, and it is not just for India, it's for global as well. Just look at the paradigm shift that are happening. Government-led, a private sector managed and operated mission that opens up avenues of how things are looking up in future. Multinational astronauts, India, Poland, Hungary, US, flying together. It's not just pooling of resources, it's pooling of trust that's being built up to bring up this mission. Coming to the India scenario, there is a lot that is accomplished by this mission. It's not just the biomedical experiments that have happened. We are preparing ourselves for astronaut training. We are preparing ourselves for logistics. We are preparing ourselves for life support systems. We are preparing ourselves for operational readiness. And that's because we do have a human spaceflight program that is progressing at a fantastic rate. And beyond the ISRO and in space, even at SIA India, our members are very excited about this because this opens up new avenues for industry to engage with space. And it comes from the biomedical industry, it comes from the alloys and materials, it comes from the chemicals, it comes from stem cells, it comes from human organ 3D printing. Then there is so much that is accomplished here. What we are seeing is a trust partnership. What we are seeing is a shared values that have brought us together. And what we are seeing is how India can participate, contribute, and lead into such missions with US, Japan, and the continental space powers in the future. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Mr. Tarun Sharma, what are the takeaways for you when it comes to Mr. Shukla's memorable trip? It obviously will go down in history like Mr. Rakesh Sharma's trip was something that we all grew up reading about. But, you know, this is not the India of the 80s. This is the India which has proved a point when it comes to space exploration. This is an India which is profoundly supported by the government when it comes to space technology and space endeavors.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, it's a great achievement for the country. And what is most important for me is, as you mentioned, that the last time we went to space, when Rakesh Sharma went to space, it was long time back. More than 40 years have passed, and the current generation that we see, okay, the children, the youth, they only heard about it in stories, right? Or maybe saw a very pixelated video of that time. But now they will have something of their own from their own generation who has gone to space, right? So it will create motivation and inspiration of a next level, right? And it is going to, start a chain reaction or create awareness, which will, enhance the science learning, motivate the students to, go on and invest time in science. So that is going to change everything. I remember during the launch of Chandrayaan 2 and Chandrayaan 3, there was a lot of buzz in the social media and media everywhere, right? It's not just science fiction or science enthusiasts were, involved in that. Everyone was involved in that. So this is that kind of a moment for India when a new chapter is being written over here. And as sirs have mentioned earlier, that we are preparing for Gaganyaan, and this is going to be a huge milestone in that journey. It is going to ready us for that. It is through that journey, Group Captain Shukla have learned a lot, and he's going to share those learning with all of us, and that is going to help in the Gaganyaan and upcoming missions that we are going to send.
All right. Dr. Raju Gadacharya, are you there with us, sir? Dr. Raju? Okay, there seems to be a problem with the audio, so I'll come back to you. I'll circle back to you, sir. Mr. Ramaswamy Venkatraman, former ISRO scientist, also with us. Mr. Venkatraman, are you there with us, sir?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Sir, your takeaways from this, we can see live visuals also from the Pacific Ocean close to San Diego, where Shubhanshu Shukla has just splashed down. So what does this achievement mean for you, for ISRO, for India and India's space aspirations?
No, well, this is first Indian to go to International Space Station. Stay there in the space condition for the last 18 days and conducted some sort of experiments and then returned back safely to the Earth. First of all, I want to congratulate the group captain Shubhanshu Shukla and the team members for their successful journey of Axiom 4 mission. With the Falcon 9 rocket, they were able to go, and the Dragon crew module has landed safely. That is the number one. Number two is this is the first Indian who has been selected for the Gaganyaan program, a batch of team, first batch of Gaganyaan astronauts. The qualified and talented best among the 4 astronauts has been sent first time to the international collaboration, and he has gone to the space station and returned back. Definitely, this will be going to be a very good motivation factor and learning point for the Gaganyaan program. How the human body metabolism and also the adaptability for the space condition and microgravity conditions and also the circadian rhythm changes. These are all the things for the Indian origin body conditions will be helpful for Indian astronauts, space aspiring team members, youngsters to coming days to go for it. Of course, this is a very long process. They have to go for a preliminary training, then advanced training and long-term training, including the extravehicular activities like a spacewalk kind of thing. From there, how to go to other celestial bodies like interplanetary missions. This is the stepping stone. And when space is infinity, today we have sent successfully one Indian, and there is this going to be give all of the Indian citizens a very proud thing. For that, we are to appreciate the nation has achieved after the 41 years. Rakesh Sharma was Soyuz module. He was making an orbit around the Earth and returned back. Today, our Gaganyaan program is now one step forward. That means Indian astronaut is able to reach the International Space Station through the collaboration. But soon, our own Gaganyaan program will start with our own crew module, with our own astronauts, with our own launch vehicle, in our own spaceport. They have to reach the orbit and make ground and successfully return back to the Earth. That is the country's pride. For that, this is the first milestone and stepping stone. It's a very good lesson. And is definitely Shubhanshu Shukla's experience is going to be very, very, very useful for the coming days, how to qualify or orient the ISRO's Gaganyaan program. Either the astronaut selection onwards, that what kind of lessons we have to learn and improve. Another one is the structures, what we are going to make, including the crew module and launch vehicle and the environmental control and their life support system, and what is their basic needs, how best it can be taken up, what kind of adaptive improvements we have to make in our existing technology. This is going to help a lot in the coming days.
All right, we also are going to flash a post on X, which has been just put by the Prime Minister. If I can request the PCR team to take the screen grab. All right, well, this is what the Prime Minister has said. He is welcoming Mr. Shukla back on Earth. He says, I join the nation in welcoming Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla as he returns to Earth from his historic mission to space. As India's first astronaut to have visited the International Space Station, he has inspired a billion dreams through his dedication, his courage, and pioneering spirit. It marks another milestone towards our own human space flight mission, Gaganyaan. All right, the Prime Minister joins the entire country in welcoming Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla back to Earth. And the Prime Minister, of course, very quick to put this out on platform X. He's been personally monitoring the stay as well as the entire coordination of this particular mission. Milind is still with us on the broadcast. Milind, are you there with us, if you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, Milind, when an event garners and gathers and sort of soaks in the attention of the entire nation, you know you're witnessing history. But how do you think India is going to be able to catapult this particular event in its space history to take the next leap?
Well, this is a new milestone set for our nation. And it's a and like you said in one of the statement that this real flight inside bridges that 1% gap which in the readiness of the Gaganyaan mission. So now we are all prepared for the Gaganyaan, and we are now seeing our own ISS, that is the Bharatiya Antariksha Station, and definitely it is accompanied by international space diplomacy and collaboration, a gateway to commercial pathway on the startup culture in India, and including the STEM and private sector growth. But let me just mention one thing, that Shubhanshu Shukla was the main celebrity, I would say now, who was piloting the entire mission. And let's not also forget to thank Prasant Nair, who was the backup crew member for AX4 mission, and he also went through the extensively the training mission, but he remained on standby and he did not fly. So we all celebrate Shubhanshu Shukla, and we also celebrate the achievement of Prasant Nair. So it's a great thing for India. Like two of our skilled astronauts were sent for this mission, one on the main lead role and the other as a backup. And this certainly, I would like to just add one more sentence, that from fragile footsteps on the moon to robotic explorers on distant world, right? Humanity's space missions embody the limitless power of imagination, and that is what India has exactly showed the world. So it's a great thing, and it's something we need to celebrate, not just today, but also for the tomorrow and the coming years for our ISRO missions and our private sector in space industries. Yeah.
Let me try and rope in Dr. Raju again into this conversation. Yeah. Dr. Raju, are you there with us, sir? Okay. All right. Dr. Chawla, coming back to you, sir. Well, this conversation that we're having also serves as a reminder that, when people go to space, sir, it's not only to explore space, it's also to understand the earth better. It's also to understand the human biology and physiology better. That is perhaps an area, that is perhaps an avenue which is going to result in more connection that people can have with India's space exploration programs, and especially this pivot, this episode, which obviously puts India on a big world map.
Look, I like to make certain statements not only as a medical man, but beyond that. Look, no doubt the astronaut, whoso it may be, now it is Shubhanshu Shukla, the future astronauts who are likely to go to moon, etc. I think no doubt they have to be physically, mentally, spiritually very tough. And they have to be very strenuously, rigorously trained. But beyond that says, don't forget that India has paid almost 550 crore rupees. So this and the commercial world is involved. So we have to look beyond the so-called tokenism of going. We have to look for our commercial interests also. How it can benefit Indians, humanity, understanding, etc., etc. So for the time being, we are literally piggybacking. So I think the ISRO and our space mission people have to go beyond. Why can't we India go beyond? So in computers, we have gained predominance all across the earth. We are number 1, 2, not even behind China or US. So in space also, we should take a lead and try to come in front. Only that will be the moment of further glory, as far as I understand it.
All right, fair enough. Mr. Sharma, let's also put one thing clear. Do you think that private equity as private investment is also something which is going to get a fillip and a boost? With these one after the other space events that India has completely dominated?
Yes, of course, it is going to be a huge step in that journey as well. If you see 20-25 years back, space missions across the world, not just India, across the world. They used to be run 100% by the government agency. Private industry's role was maybe limited to supplying some parts, and that is it, right? But we have seen this evolve over the past 20-25 years. We have few names. SpaceX is obviously the poster boy of this journey, private industries in space. But other than SpaceX, we have many players, right? We have Blue Origin, Axiom Space, right? And if we come back to India, even here there are many startups which are working in the field of space science, not just supplying parts, rather making the whole rocket. I'm sure you must have heard about Skyroot, right? And there are many more names in this field. So this proves this mission is going to prove that private industries has got the capabilities. If obviously the government support is needed, right? It's a sensitive industry. So the with government support, if private industries come into it, if they are guided properly, they can do wonders. And if they have done it in USA, if they are doing it across the world, India has the potential, India has the resources, India has the money, right? All we need is the willpower, a bit of government support, the support of next generation of students, engineers, software engineers, coders, right? To come forward rather than thinking about moving to outside India, right? Stay here and work on India's science projects and space projects. This is going to be a major boost in that step. And I think, if I'm not wrong, in Gaganyaan mission, ISRO is working with many private players for different aspect of the mission. I'm not aware of the details, but I think there are. So it is going to be a major boost for that.
Okay. Let me open Mr. Rajiv Gambhir again. Mr. Gambhir, do you concur with what was said, that the boost is important and the boost has to come through perception building?
It's more than perception building. I do agree with Tarun that yes, there is a lot happening. At SIA India, we engage with 1,200 decision makers across 600 space companies in India, and they are making from subsystems to complete systems. Now, the thing is, what this opens up is a confidence for the industry that yes, they can participate in international programs, they can collaborate with continental space players and US and Japan to take their experiments to the ISS and beyond ISS as well, as India prepares for its futuristic missions of Bharat Space Station and Gaganyaan. Diverse set of capabilities will be required, which were never required earlier. So let's say human food storage or stuff like that. Now, all of that will be coming from the industry and these industry exponents. Some of them may be at 100% capability level, some of them may be at 80% capability level, and they need to be brought up to the required level so that they can be a partner and they can contribute effectively to these programs. Now, the potential of the Indian space sector is fantastic. I deal with the established companies and right up to 3-member startups. And the kind of enthusiasm and the kind of disruption and the kind of innovation and the kind of product maturity that is coming up is something where we have a very good chance at international collaboration. At SIA India, our members work with so many countries across the world, buying, selling, collaborating in multiple ways across the Americas and Europe and Asia and Australia. So, coming back to the funding aspect has been there. One thing we need to notice is how does NASA, JAXA, ESA, and ISRO function, and they function in slightly different ways. So one of the things that becomes something to ponder about or observe is what are the things that make them tick, and what are the things that we are doing better. And one of those things is the procurement model. Across the world, the government is always the anchor customer for procurement of space capabilities. And possibly with ISRO and in-space support, I believe the industry will benefit by more procurement, and that builds a trust not just from the funding community but also from overseas buyers who look at the Indian industry as a trusted source of systems, subsystems, complete satellites, launch vehicles, experimental payloads on for microgravity, and all of those. Thank you.
But so what about after the moon landing? Do you think that the momentum was disrupted because of COVID-19? And had that not happened, a lot of these missions could have been expedited.
Well, the moon landing happened after the
correct. Yes, but it was delayed. It was delayed. It didn't happen the first time.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so it did get delayed, and but yes, we did a fantastic job. Let me tell you, space is ruthless. Multiple attempts have been made by players, both government and private, from multiple nations. India accomplishing the kind of landing that we did was a matter of pride, not just for India, but the whole scientific community across the world. We've been getting congratulations, and as Dr. Naresh Chawla started, it was a moment for us Indians to bask in the glory of what ISRO and the private sector industry, which contributed to the Chandrayaan-3 program, what they accomplished. We, as bystanders, were actually basking in that glory.
You're absolutely right, sir. Let us also, in fact, define those visuals that are coming up, or the one that you can see on your screens. Of course, those are live visuals coming in. We are all waiting to catch a glimpse of Shubhanshu Shukla, who's going to be out any minute. And you can see the operators there. They're wearing masks and they're wearing hazmat suits. Obviously, all precautions are taken at this point in time, sir, I believe, because, of course, space at this point is still an unknown entity. We are still learning. We are still, devouring information by the bits and the bytes. And this is the moment that we have all been waiting for. I can see that somebody's prepping a gate-like module or an apparition which is going to be opened, and the astronauts will come out. They're taking all precautions, making sure that there are no accidents. There is there's nothing untoward that happens, and these are proud moments for India, who had sent the first astronaut to the International Space Station. We have spoken about the International Space Station. We have seen how Sunita Williams was also stuck for more than a few months. And of course, it was SpaceX which helped her out and brought her back. But this time, luckily for everyone, this mission has been smooth. This mission has been extremely productive, and it's going to be conducive as well. Dr. Chawla, as soon as Shubhanshu Shukla is going to come out, what do you think is going to be the first thing that's going to take place?
Since we are the memory of Sunita Williams is too vivid. So in fact, Sunita Williams being an elder, she's around 60. This Shubhanshu is not that. I think he's around
39.
40 times.
He's 39.
Yes. That means I already said 40 times. So that means it should be much more easier. In my opinion, he should not need any help to be brought out. He should be able to walk on his feet. Because Sunita was able to walk on her feet, so he should also walk on his feet. And considering the intensive training he has undertaken, as already said, he should not find it difficult at all. Only the sleep cycle gets disturbed, the food cycle disturbs, one may have a feeling of some tingling in arms and some slight neurological problems. Apart from this, which I believe, as soon as you land on the earth, within days these things goes. When you start the proper water intake, don't forget the water intake, etc., and everything gets changed. But that is what we have to see, the huge number of experiments, the physiological tests he'll have to undergo, all the biochemistry, etc. We'll be having much more knowledge so that Indians also become much wiser in this. But I'm sure the kind of gentleman trained pilot he was, that things would be much more easy for us and for him also.
And Dr. Chawla, what about your mental health and problems like vertigo and nausea and obviously you're traveling at 28,000 per hour kilometer in this particular space station, and all of a sudden you find yourself halted and stopped. That definitely has to have some impact on your brain.
That's the biggest thing, is the effect of zero gravity and total gravity. There it was zero gravity, you fly in there, you have to be tied. When Shubhanshu was speaking to Prime Minister Modi ji, he clearly said that my feet have been tied so that I don't fly in the air. So that is one thing, but the moment you come back and you feet land on the earth, and apart from the things you said, the nausea and the vertigo, etc., they are very transient. In a young brain, I think these things are going to be very, very transient, because I came to know Sunita Williams became, within weeks, within days, she was walking nicely. So our own Indian will find it further easier, because he's a youngish fellow, better motivated and fully trained.
All right, Mr. Venkatraman, are you with us, sir? Mr. Venkatraman?
Am I audible?
You're audible, sir. You're audible. So we are seconds away from an exit, or you can call it an entry, by Mrs. Shubhanshu Shukla, who's going to be coming out of this module that has just landed, sir.
Yeah, the module now has touched down. Actually, the module, when it is entering, the trunk portion, basically the supply portion of we call it as a service module, that is being detached. Once the atmospheric entry is over, the job is over. So the crew has to sustain with the available breathing air supply, as well as the power supply. Everything is available inside. That is why within half an hour to 1 hour, the crew has to be recovered and they have to be taken out. Another one is there will be a kind of slight vapor. If the service module, there is a thruster. The thruster, when it is getting detached, they will first check any kind of traces of the gaseous things are available or not. That will be neutralized. Then the thermal protection system, what you can see the outside, completely charred. They are all ablative tiles. During the atmospheric re-entry, they will be very red hot. So that has to be quenched out, and then the temperature and pressure has to be brought to normal. Then slowly the crew members will be taken out.
All right, fair enough. Folks, live visuals on your screen. Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla is going to be making an appearance anytime. As you can see, there are operatives outside of this module who are going to, in fact, make sure that the exit is smooth. There are going to be some checks, is what I believe. Mr. Gambhir, if you're there with us.
Yeah, Christian.
Yeah, well, what kind of checks would these operatives be doing at this point in time? Because the door has been opened. There seems to be some preliminary checks that they are working towards. Could you describe what they might be? And I think we can see the first glimpse of Shubhanshu Shukla. There we are. Go ahead, sir.
All right. So let's savor the moment of the astronauts coming out, and between the splashdown and now, and before reaching the module and after reaching the module, there would be depressurization, there would be conducting of certain tests before the astronauts can be brought out and brought back to land safely.
Fair enough. So what happens to this module? What happens after it splashes down? Is it taken to the junkyard, or can it be used? Knowing SpaceX, they believe in reusability.
Indeed. This module is built for reusability, and they are going to reuse it. That has been the original plan, and I hope they are able to do that. Good part for sustainable space as well.
Fair enough, sir. All right, you can see that Shubhanshu Shukla's family is also glued to the television, to the big screen that they have been watching and observing from that school in Lucknow. And you can see the mother is relieved, the father, of course, wearing his pride and joy on his face, welcoming back the first Indian astronaut to step on the International Space Station. A bit of Neil Armstrong moment for him. If it's not the moon, of course, it's the International Space Station, which is obviously an important testament to India's ascent, if we can call it that, in space technology as well as space exploration. So any minute, Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla is going to be out. I think all the preparations are concluded. We can see a couple of cameramen there as well who do not want to miss this moment. And all eyes are glued, at least in India, for the spectacular return. The splashdown happened in Pacific Ocean, very close to San Diego, a city in Southern California in the United States of America. It is also home to a number of projects which are being expedited by the NASA, and this is indeed a great moment and a great testament to the fact, I'll repeat, to India's growing stature in the field of space exploration as well. All right, Mr. Gambhir, let us also try and understand, every Indian at this point must be wondering, how far are we from our own space station? We landed on the moon in a fashion which was envied by the entire world. The movie Interstellar was made for more amounts of dollars than our exploration of the moon. So obviously India is extremely efficient when it comes to space technology and space exploration. When are we going to see our own space station?
Not too far.
Go on, sir.
We're not too far. The right steps are being taken. There is a timeline decided for that. And we should start seeing some milestone being accomplished in the next few years from 2028 onwards. We should start seeing milestones being accomplished. But yes, the full space station should be available to us somewhere in the middle of the 30s or slightly later. The thing is that it's not just the space station, it's the Gaganyaan program, it's the Venus Orbital Mission, it's the NGLV. Each one of those futuristic missions are going to attain some kind of a critical momentum by 2028. And I'm glad to share that India is a candidate to host the International Astronautical Congress in India in 2028. And that would be a most opportune time because most of these missions would have reached some critical momentum.
All right, Srimati Kesan, founder and CEO of Space Kids, also with us on the program. All right, there we have it. The astronauts are being pulled out one by one. And these are the images. This is in fact the moment that we've all been waiting for. Happy smiles there, happy faces there, coming out of a long journey, an arduous one, but nevertheless enjoyable. Srimati Kesan, your reflections on what we are witnessing at this point in time. It's great to be a part of this history.
I just feel like jumping. I'm super excited and I have absolutely no words to tell you because, every time it was like, whenever we had some launch or whenever an astronaut was coming down, it was always like talking about the, an astronaut from a different country. Even though if it was Sunita Williams, we all sat up through 2 days, and when she was coming down, we were talking so much about her and appreciating her courage and everything. But again, it was an Indian, today it is an Indian-born Indian, stepping into the ISS and coming back. So which means to say we've got first-hand quality information and complete data, which is absolutely important, right from the trainings that need to be given to the astronauts, how we have to design the whole thing, and then the crew modules, the rockets, the capsules, the spacesuit, the food. I think everything we have first-hand information now. So this is a huge investment, but the best investment made by India, I feel personally.
What do you think is going to do for the younger generation when it comes to taking up space exploration as a specialty?
You know what? Deep tech was not always everybody's cup of tea. It was always felt that it's a niche industry and only a few people could go there who had the money and who had the pull. And, you know, it would take years to see some success in it. It's all, you know, just gone by the wind. And this is going to prove that if there is a thought that comes into your mind.
That's Shubhanshu Shukla being pulled out of the module. That's him. He's all smiles, happy to be back on Earth. That's the image that we've all been waiting for. He's waving everyone, and as you can see, his family super excited. Everybody on their feet, applauding and clapping. Shubhanshu Shukla back on Earth. Of course, the journey that he's taken is more than just a journey. It's going to open up a new chapter in India's space aspiration. He's returned from space as we saw that the Dragon splashed down off the coast of San Diego. He was on the ISS. He in fact conducted several experiments which were related to India's specific microgravity. Let's listen in.
हनुमान जी की कृपा है सर, हनुमान जी कृपा है, सब कृपा उन्हीं की है, हनुमान जी का आशीर्वाद साथ में बिल्कुल साथ। हाँ, सावन का महीना है, भोलेनाथ जी की कृपा है। बहुत सफल रहा, आप सुन सकते हैं। बैठ जाइए, माता जी रो रही है। अरे नहीं तो अच्छा लग रहा है, बेटा जो है बेटा वापस चला आया है, तो ये भावुक पल है भाई उसका जो है बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। अब इस समय जो है हम लोग बच्चे को देखकर बहुत खुश हैं। पूरी यात्रा कैसी रही सर? 18 दिन रहे वहाँ पर। अच्छी रही यात्रा, अच्छी रही जैसा कि आपसे बात होती थी। हाँ, बात होती थी और ऐसा लगता था आपको कि अंतरिक्ष से बात हो रही है। अब अंतरिक्ष से बात कर लेता था, थोड़ा हल्का लगता था।
यही पल तो था जिसके लिए जी रहे थे।
नहीं, बिल्कुल उसका मिशन पूरा हुआ। अब ईश्वर को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और सभी देशवासियों का आभार प्रकट करते हैं।
साक्षात रूप से मिलने के लिए शुभांशु से
नहीं, बिल्कुल बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत
मिलना कब होगा?
अब मिलना 15 दिन लग जाएंगे, 15 दिन लग जाएंगे।
तो काफी उनका इंतजार है, किस तरीके से स्वागत की तैयारी है?
नहीं, बहुत भव्य स्वागत करेंगे हम लोग जो है, बिल्कुल एंजॉय करेंगे, पार्टी करेंगे, पूरा बैंड बाजे के साथ स्वागत करेंगे। जो कुछ होगा बहुत अच्छे तरह स्वागत करेंगे।
शुभांशु की सकुशल वापसी हो गई, क्या कहेंगे?
भगवान का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कुशल मंगल वापस आ गए। हम लोग के लिए बहुत गर्व का पल है। अच्छा लग रहा है आपको?
शायद आपसे मुलाकात,
बस अब मिलने की मुलाकात है, अभी तक जो है आने की वो थी, अब मिलने की अपेक्षा है। बस जितनी जल्दी मिलेंगे उतनी जल्दी मिलेंगे हमसे।
जब वो आ रहे थे, लैंड हो रहे थे, उस टाइम पे काफी प्रार्थना कर रहे थे मन ही मन में, क्या कुछ?
नहीं, तो अब ईश्वर से प्रार्थना करते हैं कि वही सब कुछ ले आवे, यही हमारे लिए बड़ी। ये देखो
आराम से शुभांशु के पिताजी तुम्हारे साथ है सर, जिस तरीके से हाथों में तिरंगा झंडा और
दो मिनट दे दीजिए, थोड़ा सा
कपिल भाई रुक जाइए, मैम को पहले सेटल हो जाइए, पहले सेटल।
थैंक यू बात करने की कोशिश बात हो रही है। चलो थैंक यू।
माता जी चलिए, सुबह से लेके अब तक का
आज पहली बार अभी देखा है, क्या कुछ कहेंगे?
वी आर ट्राइंग आवर बेस्ट कि आप लोगों को पूरा वाइड मिले।
All right, those are the visuals. Once again repeating for you by popular demand of Shubhanshu Shukla exiting that module. What a proud moment this is for India. Mr. Gambhir, you know, if you ask somebody, you've been to France, you've been to Italy, you've been to Switzerland, you've been to USA, you'll get a lot of people who will say yes, but very few, if you ask them, have you been to the International Space Station in India?
You're right, sir. And Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla and the other 3 astronauts who have gone through the training, Group Captain Prashant Nair, Ajit Krishnan, Anurag Pratap, they would not have gone to space, but they have had that exposure, and they'll probably have stories to tell to their children and grandchildren. And more than that, I suppose we have Dr. Srimati Kesan here. I'm sure we would like to engage them in outreach with the students in India, in different schools, colleges, institutions. It's a great opportunity for the students to look up to a certain segment which might not have been there in their imagination earlier. So here's an opportunity. Let's savor in that.
All right, let's savor that. We are obviously extremely proud of this moment. We are extremely ambitious and confident that this is a major pillar. It's a major Philippe in India's quest to explore the final frontier, what Spock used to call in Star Trek. Space was the final frontier for Mr. Spock in Star Trek, but it's the final frontier for India as well. That's the only thing that's left to conquer, and that we already have through Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla. We are showing you these memorable shots. They are going to be etched in our memory and in history forever. And welcome home to Mr. Shubhanshu Shukla. Of course, now he has that road to rehabilitation. He's going to be physically monitored. All his vitals are going to be checked, and this is a routine check. We spoke to a doctor earlier on as well who said that at his age it should not be a problem. So once again, Captain Shubhanshu Shukla back on Earth. In fact, he's India's Gagan Yatri is what we can call him. The capsule Grace, which carried the Group Captain Shukla and others, splashed down off the coast of California near San Diego about an hour ago, and the last few minutes were spent making sure that they are pulled out without any mistakes. Group Captain Shukla is an Indian Air Force pilot. He's the only second Indian to visit space after Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma in 1984. And my colleague has spoken to the family of Captain Shubhanshu Shukla. Let's listen in.
नमस्कार सर, बहुत बहुत बधाई आपको।
थैंक यू बेटा, जो थैंक यू। अच्छा आया है तो उसके लिए सभी को मतलब जो है थैंक यू हमारे।
सर फाइनली शुभांशु ने, आपके लाडले ने कर दिखाया।
नहीं कर दिखाया, बहुत कर दिखाया। हिम्मत है, जज्बा है, लगन है, निष्ठा है और पूरी जो है अचीवमेंट प्राप्त करने की पूरी उसमें क्षमता भी है।
आप बड़े पर्दे पर तो देख लिया, जब आप अपनी आंखों के सामने देखेंगे तो सबसे पहले क्या कहेंगे शुभांशु को, भारत के बेटे से?
उसको गले लगाएंगे और आशीर्वाद देंगे।
सर डर था आपके मन में जब लैंडिंग हो रही थी, क्योंकि अभी मैंने मिसेस शुक्ला से बात की, उन्होंने कहा अब डर खत्म, उस वक्त तो जरूर था।
कुछ रहता है, थोड़ा बहुत रहता है।
मैं अभी भी देख रही हूँ आपकी आंखें बड़ी स्क्रीन पर ही हैं।
नहीं वो तो थोड़ा रहता है, मतलब फिर भी अब ठीक है, अब कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
क्या कहेंगे, एक अंतिम सवाल मेरा, इस पूरे हिंदुस्तान की आवाम से क्या कहेंगे?
अब उन्हीं की दुआओं से, उन्हीं के दुआओं से, सभी जो है आशीर्वाद से ही ये संभव हुआ है। ईश्वर की कृपा है और सभी लोगों का, देशवासियों का, पूरे देशवासियों की उसके साथ वेल विशेष है, तो उनकी वजह से ही ये संपन्न हुआ है। हम सभी का शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं।
बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए। तो आप सुन रहे थे शुभांशु के फादर्स को, आप सुन रहे थे जिनका साफ तौर पर कहना है कि पूरे आवाम का आशीर्वाद था उनके बेटे के साथ, और उनका बेटा अब फिलहाल उनका ही नहीं भारत का बेटा बन चुका है। लखनऊ से वीडियो जर्नलिस्ट गौरव के साथ मैंने कितना सरी, इंडिया न्यूज़ के लिए।
He has made it, and he is still on the way only. So we are just waiting for that to see his first glimpse over there, and that's it.
How is the Josh?
Very high, sir. And I don't know, it's high is looking right now. It's a small word right now, but it is extremely high now.
The whole family was, overwhelmed. There was emotional and happy at the same time. How was the feeling at that point of time? Because I had a word with your mother. She was like, I am speechless.
Same word, speechless, because there are few experiences in life there which you feel like that how to respond, and this was one of the experience. I don't know what to say right now, but thrilling, and I'm every time I'm talking about this, I'm having
goosebumps as well.
Absolutely, and so happy.
So what's the social message for all Indians out there?
One line which Shubhanshu used to say all the time, that do your hard work and be curious. That is the only thing which you can do. And his motto is that not only to grow in the science field, his motto is that with the help of science, we can grow the future of our nation as well. And the upcoming generation, if he gets that motivation from him, that will be the best achievement.
My last question is, will you be patting his back as soon as you'll see him live with your eyes now?
No, I will jump on him only, not only patting. I'll jump on him and I'll just celebrate the whatever way it takes, and I'll celebrate that moment there.
Thank you so much for talking. So you are just hearing Shubhanshu's sister out here. She is so damn excited, and she's like the last words for Shubhanshu, and she told together. And now when she'll look him, she'll jump on him. It's her statement in our interview, what she said for us. With video journalist Gaurav, this is Nikita Sareen signing off for News. ये जो खुशी के आंसू हैं, क्या बयां कर रहे हैं? एक डर था, अब आप खुश हैं। आपने कहा वो डर
अब खत्म हो गया।
क्या मन में चल रहा था जब लैंड कर रहे थे? आप देख रही थी लाइव स्क्रीन पर?
मन में यही चल रहा था कि सुरक्षित लैंडिंग हो जाए, क्योंकि आखिरी पल जो होता है ना, वही सबसे खतरनाक होता है। सुनने में आया ऐसा मुझे। हाँ, तो उस समय पे थोड़ा सा बहुत, बाकी पहले खुश थे, पहले कोई दिक्कत नहीं थी। 18 दिनों से मैं खुश थी बहुत।
पूजा पाठ चल रहा था?
सब चल रहा था, सब।
क्या मैसेज देंगी सभी हिंदुस्तानियों को?
शुक्ला जी हैं,
क्या मैसेज देंगी सभी हिंदुस्तानियों
जो वहाँ लैंड
सभी को यही देंगे कि सब लोग जिसको जो इसमें इच्छुक है वो प्रयास करे, पढ़े लिखे, अपना पढ़ाई करे, ईमानदारी से आगे बढ़े, तो सब कुछ संभव है, सब कुछ
आखिरकार।
तो देखिए जिस तरीके से यहाँ पर मिसेस शुक्ला से हमने बात की है, और साफ तौर पर उनका कहना है कि जो एक डर था वो अब खत्म हो गया है, और जिस तरीके से हमने देखा कि उनके आंखों में आंसू थे, भावुक पल था, और अब होठों पे मुस्कान है, तो जाहिर है जो उनका डर है वो खत्म हो गया, क्योंकि शुभांशु शुक्ला ने एक सक्सेसफुल लैंडिंग यहाँ पर कर ली है। लखनऊ से वीडियो जर्नलिस्ट गौरव के साथ में निकिता सरीन, इंडिया न्यूज़ के लिए।